parents' adopted son? I'm 28-year-old male. I had average childhood. My parents provided everything but nothing extra. And when I was 17, they decided to adopt another child, Chris, 7-year-old male. I went to university at 18 and moved out, and my parents told me they could not financially help me because they have another child now. I admit, I resented that. I had to work and go to college. For the first 2 years, I couldn't get into university dorm, so I had to rent, which was much more expensive. I can't count how many times I hadn't eaten for 2 to 3 days. It was horrible, and I consider that the worst experience of my life. It got easier after I got into dorms, but I still couldn't afford anything extra, like going to the party and such. In all these years, I slowly distanced myself from my parents, and I don't see Chris as my brother. To this day, we see each other max 2 times a year, even though we live 25 minutes away. They don't even know I married my partner. This happened at Christmas dinner. In the middle of dinner, my parents told me that Chris is going to university in the same area I live in and asked if he could stay with me. They would pay for rent and expenses. Now, I live in a townhouse in the middle of all faculties. I'm in prime spot. I don't rent rooms, but if I would, rent would be highest in the city. I was triggered when my parents said they would pay for him. So I said that they can't afford to rent a room in my place and to look elsewhere. All family there were shocked by my response, and my parents were somewhat taken aback. Since then, a couple of family members told me I'm an a-hole for not helping my family. My parents texted me to reconsider and help my brother, and that he is very upset his big brother won't help him. I told them he is their son, but he's not my brother, and I have no obligation towards him. Even Chris texted me and begged me to reconsider, but I just ignore him, and everyone else for that matter. The problem is my partner, who is good, kind soul and is starting to get to me. So, what do you think? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your partner and everyone else needs to back off. Your parents didn't care about you guys being family until they saw money to be made. To your partner, I think you need to be very, very clear. Having this person in my house will hurt me. I am not interested in letting you or anyone else hurt me. Yes, you may need to let her in more so she can understand your perspective. I made this mistake with my husband always pushing back for a better relationship with his family. But after 16 years together, things have revealed themselves. I don't push back anymore. I should have listened from the start and simply taken his word about his family. Not the a-hole. Your parents or other family did not help you. You don't have to help them. Your adopted brother is not your responsibility. They are willing to pay for him, so he will be okay either way. I agree with this. OP, you need to ask them and the family why was it okay to cut you off from any assistance, let you starve, and offer no support. But it falls on you to provide all this for Chris? Now, I agree Chris probably didn't understand at a time how they treated you. Maybe you need to talk to him. He's at an age that he'll understand. Maybe not agree, but talking to him like an adult and having a conversation about what you went through would be a good first step. Same with your partner. They need to understand that this being pushed on you will cause a lot of hurt and resentment of all parties, including your feelings towards them and your relationship, if you don't feel supported and solidarity in your decision. This is your family, so as much as they are entitled to an opinion, you should have final say. Your parents or Chris are more than capable of a plan B. And remember, all you had to do was say, no, it's not possible to have them or anyone else live with us. Sadly, I think offering up that rent would be too expensive gave them hope or the glimmer of opportunity. That is possible, but with a price tag, unfortunately, which will lead to the barrage of calls and texts you don't want. Thinking bullying you into it will be the ticket to get what they want. You're feeling be damned. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother I will help him at his children but not his wife? My brother and I were adopted into the same family. He's white and I'm a dark-skinned black woman. Our parents were an interracial couple, and our family had some unique challenges over the years. But our parents did their very best by us and tried their hardest to get us as much information as possible with our birth families. It was a little easier with mine because I was orphaned, and I had 2 older living birth relatives who were just incapable of caring for me and needed care themselves. My brother had a very different story though, as he had no information at all. When he was 20, he met his wife and they married after 2 years of dating. She always gave me bad vibes. Around the time they got engaged, he told me she kept bringing up his birth family and how he should find them before the wedding. I had told him he didn't have to do anything, but he knew mom and dad would help him and he'd have my support. Then she went behind his back to find him via DNA, and it was a crap show. But for some reason, he forgave her and decided to meet the people, which she was thrilled about. It was around that time she told me to get lost because he had sisters who were actually related to him and not a, you can guess the slur, who always made his life more difficult. She told me I was crazy if I thought I'd be in her wedding photos. She also said our parents should get used to having only one child. My brother had already started to pull away by then, and because I was hurt and angry, I never told him what went down between his now wife and I. I chose to not attend his wedding, and I know from our parents that the day was very messy. 6 years of no contact happened, and then he reached out and apologized for letting anything come between us. We have been back on speaking terms for over a year now. It took a while, but we are doing so much better. I always loved my brother, but was hurt by the stuff that went down between us and me and his wife. A few days ago, my brother's family ended up in a shelter. He lost the job he had for many years and took a huge pay cut and a new one, at the same time that his former landlord decided to illegally kick them out by changing the locks. My brother did contact a lawyer, but nothing is as fast as they show in TV and the movies, and they have no place to go. I live in the same city, which would allow him to keep what job he has now at least, and so he asked if they could stay. I said I would help him and the kids and they could stay, but his wife is not welcome in my home. He told me he would take that, which did surprise me some. His wife is angry. She came after me about separating her children from her and how unhealthy it will be for them to see her in a crap hole, while they're safe and comfortable with me. She called me all kinds of names, like petty and witchy and an a-hole. But it was the comment about the kids that got me questioning. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Nope. Let's call her what she is, a racist. She can't call you names to your face and encourage your brother to cut ties, then want to be looked after because it suits her. I would have told him and would still suggest you tell him now, because if she is bringing up the kids to have the same attitude, then nothing gets resolved. You have set a boundary. Keep to it. Opie should be careful. She doesn't know how much brother has changed. He might try to sneak sister-in-law in, or she might constantly be visiting because she wants to be near her children and husband if the brother and kids move in. A lot of guilt tripping can happen for the sake of the children. Not the a-hole at all. That woman is hideous, and I hope this is the first step in your brother divorcing her and taking full custody of the children. If you haven't already, it's time to explain to your brother what she said and why you refuse to let her into your life. Provide a safe and loving home for your brother and his kids. Be a model for a loving and secure family relationship. It may be the first time they see a woman give them consistent loving attention, because I doubt their mom is doing it. Yeah, I would have told a brother the minute it happened. Yeah, that I never told him is some TV drama BS. Oh my god, I'm about to cry imagining my brother allowing me to marry some racist witch. And then going no contact for 6 years because he thought the conversation was too awkward. I kinda believe the brother has to know she's a horrible person at least. Maybe not exactly what she said, but you know she's made some crazy comments about Opie in front of the brother. Not the a-hole. She can't expect you to help her after she treated you like garbage and outed herself as a racist. She brought this 100% upon herself, and she also sounds like a bad influence for the children. She's the a-hole, not you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving my son's wedding after he denied his stepmom a mother-son dance? My son Jordan is 27. His stepmom Natalie came into his life when he was 16. His mom had passed away when he was 13. Jordan never really considered Natalie as his mom. He refused to let her get close and shut down every attempt to have a close relationship. He even moved in with his aunt months after Natalie and I got married. As years went by, they started reconciling and seeing each other more often, and he invited us to his wedding, which took place days ago. We got there and the atmosphere was great, until later when I found out that Jordan had denied Natalie a mother-son dance and instead chose his aunt to dance with him. Natalie told me this minutes later, and I couldn't help feel irritated and quite upset. I decided to get up and leave, and we both left. I got a call from my family after they saw me leave, and Jordan called later, and I told him why I did it. He got mad and said it was his wedding, and that his aunt is basically a mother to him, and said that Natalie shouldn't expect special treatment. I said it's not special treatment, but a tradition. Besides that, he hurt her feelings for no reason, other than for the sake of being malicious. He got offended and accused me of ruining his day and causing a scene. Now the family sided with him and said I shouldn't have left no matter what. Now for the comments. You're the a-hole. Your wife has never been his mother, and he has every right to not have a mother-son dance with her. I strongly suspect this isn't the first time you've chosen your wife over your son, and it's probably why he moved in with his aunt. If you want any kind of relationship with your son going forward, I very much recommend both you and your wife apologize for throwing a tantrum at his wedding. For Opie's son to have moved out after only a few months, I have a feeling the reason is because Opie and his wife were trying to force him to accept the stepmom as his mom right from the start. And after all that happened, Opie's son invites them both to his wedding, and Opie has the audacity to demand a mother-son dance? Then they leave when they don't get their way. Wow, there goes any chance of them mending their relationship. You're the a-hole. Sounds plausible. I've heard similar stories on here. The Opie's keeping suspiciously quiet about why his son doesn't like Opie's wife. As it stands, she's not Opie's son's mother. She didn't raise him and he doesn't like her. Yet Opie and his wife expect her to be given the mother-son dance. The sheer entitlement of it is astounding. Take it from me, my wife has never mistreated him in any way whatsoever. Matter of fact, she even contributed towards his education, although he has no idea, because if he knew, he wouldn't have accepted it. That right there should tell you how he feels about her. He doesn't see her as a mother, so why would he do a mother-son dance? Seriously, this wasn't done to hurt your wife. Stop trying to force a relationship that doesn't exist and made very clear to you. Wow, you're the a-hole. Way to make your son's wedding all about you and your wife. You already said that he never considered her as his mom. So why in the hell did you expect him to invite her to do something that is traditionally for mothers and sons? For all intents and purposes, his aunt is a hell of a lot more of a mother to him than your wife. You are selfish, entitled people. Disgusting, and you should be ashamed. Welp, any progress that his son and wife made in developing any shred of relationship has been flushed down the drain. Opie's relationship with his son will never recover what it was. He left his own son's wedding. Jesus Christ. If he thought shunning his son at his wedding was okay, it makes me wonder how many times he has done it in the past. Thank goodness his son has a loving family outside of his horrid parent. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to parent my 28-year-old sister because her behavior is my parents' faults and their problem? My parents had my sister Connie, 28 female, when I was 15, and they acted more like grandparents to Connie than actual parents. They spoiled Connie and didn't enforce boundaries. They outright encouraged her to misbehave because they thought it was cute/funny for her to throw tantrums or show people the finger. And my parents have continued to enable Connie well into adulthood. They allowed Connie to drop out of high school because she wanted to get a GED and enter college early. Connie never actually got a GED nor returned to school, and she still lives with my parents and refuses to get a job. My parents will try to nag Connie to earn her GED or get a job, but she just won't, and there's no real consequence if she refuses anyway. If Connie wants something and my parents refuse, she'll scream her head off like a child until our parents give in. My mom is now in her late 60s and my dad just turned 70, and they claim they just don't have the energy to deal with Connie. My parents had a grandparent day with my children and took them to the mall. They brought my children back to my house, stayed for dinner, and then asked to talk with me privately. They explained that they can't deal with Connie's behavior anymore and wanted Connie to move in with me and my family so that I could essentially become Connie's disciplinarian and re-raise her to be a proper adult. I told my parents no. I have 3 actual children. I don't have time to parent a 28-year-old toddler. Nor do I want Connie's tantrums and screaming in my house. My mom tried to make the excuse that I need to step in because she and my father just don't have the energy to deal with Connie. I was frank with my parents that Connie's behavior is their own fault, and now it's their problem. They weren't always in their late 60s. They had years to step up and stop enabling Connie. I'm certain there's boot camp or other program that exists to get adults like Connie to grow up, but that's their responsibility to arrange and look into. Some family members have reached out to tell me that I was being selfish and childish because my mom and dad were both great parents to me, and now it's supposed to be my turn to support them. Most of these family members understand why I don't want Connie's tantrums and fits around my kids, but said that I should still help my parents look into other options. I don't deny that my mom and dad were great parents to me, but it's still not my responsibility to be a parent to my adult sister. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Tell those family members who are giving you grief that they are welcome to step up. You are too busy raising your own children. Luckily, my aunt-in-law and her children are looking into options for boot camp/programs to get adults to grow up. But they are still telling me that I should be the one helping because I'm my parents' child and Connie's sister. We may be family, but I still recognize that Connie is my parents' responsibility. Not the a-hole. Keep your distance. Tell the relatives. It sounds like they are on the right track, but stop blaming you. They are looking to create more family drama and placing blame at the wrong door. Not the a-hole. WTF. She's 28. She can learn to live on her own. Only on paper. She dropped out of high school and has probably not learned at all what independence and responsibilities are. Not just her education development was set back, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were set back in other ways, like mentally or neurologically, compared to others their age. She's going to need therapy to confront that and try to undo that mess. I honestly feel bad for her for how bad Opie's parents failed raising her. Instead of everyone's trying to set her straight other than slight nudges, they just continuously enabled it. Unfortunately, she's got a lot of growing up to do and fast, but it's not Opie's problem. It's his parents. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. In what world is having a 28-year-old move into your home because they are spoiled, entitled, and hard to be around a good solution to the problem? It would not be a good environment for your kids to be around a person like that, and it's good that you did not even consider it. If the family members trying to guilt you into it care so much, why don't they let her come stay with them?